introduce our Toastmaster this evening, and in the spirit of our theme, Limericks, indulge me a bit. Our Toastmaster is John Contreras, who is also known by an alias. Once drinking mimosa, popped out Captain Verbosa, a wise captain who can also be crass. Help me welcome John Contreras.
Toastmasters and guests, hail and greeting. I'm so glad that you came to the meeting. And since we've begun, let's all have some fun, for our moments together are fleeting. Of filler words, all should be wary. Our grammar should ne'er be contrary. I now give to ye our mindful GE to introduce each functionary.
In Toastmasters, we evaluate each speech. Through feedback, we invite you to reach. To value your voice, make speaking your choice. Knowing all you express has the power to teach. And more than speaking, we also listen, and there's a number of people that are helping us, whether we're giving speeches or we're doing other parts of the program, it's all speaking.
Limericks our theme, and that's pleasing. For rhyming, you never need a reason. Though St. Paddy's Day is in March, not in May, such verses are ne'er out of season. Some Toastmasters like to be funny. Their outlook on life is quite sunny. Beginning with laughter will make what comes after feel sweet in your mind, just like honey.
There's a mountain in southern New Hampshire called Mount Monadnock. How do you say it? Monadnock. Mount Monadnock. It's hard to say. I got to practice it because it's a part of it. Mount Monadnock. Okay, and so that's a piece of this. And it's called Beauty Contest. There once was a gal with grand Tetons who put the New Hampshire elite on, registered her shockers as Miss Monadnockers. No surprise who the judges were sweet on.
Greg Darnell's our speaker number 1. 5 to 7 on the clock, and then he's done. Life parallels his bit, climbing Mount Pitt. Let's give Greg his day in the sun. 2. 5 to 7 on the clock, and she's through. She'll tell us how to live future now. Ms. Finnegan, it's all up to you. Now that our speaker is retired, I must say that I'm inspired. Go. Take a moment to write your special insight, how your heart was lifted up higher. New members are seldom so eager. Your subjects are rich, never meager. And whether you rhyme, keep an eye on the time. Please give a warm welcome to Rieger.
Now, humor me, because before you said anything, and you know because the last word's out of your mouth, or your limerick. So I sat down there, and I'm not a limerick girl, but there once was a girl named Rieger who was often quite eager. She went to and fro and worked high and low in hopes she would never be meager.
Your speeches are always fantastic. They stretch hearts and minds like elastic. A note you could write to express your delight. So put it on paper, not plastic. Table topics to some folks are cursed. To them, off the cuff is the worst. Like life in their brevity, just sprinkled with levity. These moments are just unrehearsed.
Table Topics also uses limericks, but they're a segue. And I will start off and give you an example. Use the limerick to talk about the subject. There's two parts, each one, limerick and question. Let's see if I can pull this off in a proper brogue. I love this one because it is so descriptive of limericks. A few of you heard it last week, but I'm going to share it again for the rest of you. A limerick packs laughs anatomical into spaces quite economical. But the good ones I've seen are so seldom clean, and the clean ones are so seldom comical. That's a good time to laugh. And the question around this would be, tell us about a time when you said something you thought was funny and it turned out not to be so.
I'll begin by introducing our evaluators for each of the speeches with a reminder to our evaluators that when evaluating, begin with objectives, so comments are kept in perspective. Noting what to adjust, sandwich praise, a must. So they smile when being reflective. Our first evaluator for Greg's speech, did the Toastmaster make the meeting work?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Did you memorize all of those in advance, or did you make them up while you were up here?
I wrote the last one about 4:30 this afternoon.
Wow. And then it was still in you that you didn't need your notes. At least look back, and that was just awesome. Thank you for doing this. In closing, we've come to the end of this section, the general evaluation section, of noticing and guiding direction. Let all that you've learned be received and returned with peace, with gratitude and affection.
Stay here. As usual, good times go by faster. It's time I was put out to pasture. I'll now step aside to she who presides. I'm glad to have been your Toastmaster.